In 1969, the Beatles released a song on the Yellow Submarine album that rings true to Butler University. That song is Hey Bulldog. Butler fans, can you say hey? Can you say Bulldog? Now help us with this tune. The band, cheerleaders, and dance team will help you sing along. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Sam Reel here with Butler Athletics as we take a look back at the matchup between our Butler University Bulldogs and the Bulldogs of Drake University. Since the teams first met in 2000, this series has been a one-sided affair, with Drake winning 16 of the 21 all-time meetings. A combination of struggles on offense for Butler and a lockdown defense from Drake have led to Butler being held to single digits 7 times over the course of the series. Butler's looking for their first win since 2015 and have had some struggles lately. We sat down with Joey Lindstrom, a former Bulldog player who has had success against Drake.
We hadn't really been able to handle Drake as well as we wanted to. It was a first down, a classic double pass. It was originally intended, we'd always practiced it to go to John Turley coming out of the slot. But then Johnny O'Shea was over the top and just kind of let that one rip. Personally, it was very cool just to be around my teammates.
Hopefully our Bulldogs can take a lesson from Joey Lindstrom and throw some touchdowns this weekend against Drake.
Hello and welcome, Bulldog fans, to the Bud and Jackie Sellick Bowl today for tonight's matchup between the Drake Bulldogs and the Butler Bulldogs. It is the Canine Conundrum, the Battle of Bulldogs here today. Both teams vying for their first PFL win of the season as Drake fell to Valparaiso in the final 90 seconds last week after a 36-yard touchdown pass by the Beacons, and they fell 24-21. Butler was shut out at St. Thomas last week. So now both teams looking for their first win. They are so hungry for it as well as the PFL rolls on. Alongside Drew Bevelheimer, my name is Joey Lindstrom. So good to be with you here today, Drew. Last week, Drake started Luke Bailey, their second-string quarterback. He hurts his shoulder in the game against Valpo. Now they're moving on to Blake Ellingson, a third-string quarterback. And if he gets hurt, they're going to have to use a punter, a receiver, what have you. It's their sixth starting quarterback in 10 games. That has to have a huge effect on the way that Coach Todd Stepsis works his strategy into the game in today's game.
Yeah, and usually you would think a team would have 6 quarterbacks over the span of maybe 10 years see the field, and they have had to do it in the span of 2 seasons. And 2, with this weather we're having, it may not be that much of a factor. It is raining very hard right now. It will continue to rain for the entire game. They have to be able to establish the run and hopefully take a lot of pressure off of their third-string quarterback, who has only had 6 passing attempts this year.
Well, Butler missing Kayvon Samuels is something of note. We learned this week that he will not be playing today. And now it's got to be up to to A.J. Deinhardt and Michael Benefield, Joey Succi to have the running back prowess that we're so used to with this Bulldogs offense. They're averaging over 200 yards rushing a game. Now, when you take Samuels out of that equation, how does that affect the way the Butler's going to attack today?
The running game is in very good hands with those 2 guys you just talked about, A.J. Deinhardt and Michael Benefield. Both of them so far this year averaging over 5 yards a carry, and you still have 2 very different types of backs. With Michael Benefield, he's a little bit faster. He can be a little bit shiftier, but he can still run you over. And with A.J. Deinhardt, he is going to run right up the middle in between the tackles most of the time, and it'll take 3, 4, 5 guys to bring him down, and he will get a lot of yards after contact.
Johnny O'Shea, the starting receiver for Butler. At the X, you have Yogi Flogger, who is a very good weapon for Brett Bushka in the slot, but he'll be probably moved out to the X side now that Johnny's out with a shoulder injury. That has a little bit to do with the effect of how this offense can run as well. The return of Danny Morales at safety for Drake is something that we need to note too. Number 32, out with injury before, missed the last 3 games, and now he's back. He was leading the team in tackles in the spring, and now he has to fill that role again. He's also their main kick returner. We'll see if he does that again today.
And that it is huge for Drake to have him back. They have not had the most stout defensive presence so far this year, giving up around 185 pass yards a game and 100. They've given up 850 yards passing throughout this entire season so far and 600 yards on the ground. They're going to want to be a little bit more effective on defense. And 2, the nice thing about this Butler team is they are young, but they are a very deep team. You have Yogi Flogger still playing, a freshman All-American in the FCS. Again, the running game and the passing game, along with the wide receivers, are still in very capable hands.
Let's talk about the defense for Butler. Only 2 sacks on the year so far through 4 games. That is not what Coach Joe Cheshire has emphasized for his team. Jordan Castleberry with the 1 whole sack, and then split 2 half sacks between Isaac Kolazic and Mike Butler. The pressure from your front 4 has to be something that is imperative for your defense, especially when you have a new starting quarterback in there who's only thrown 1 pass in his career.
You have to make him uncomfortable from the very beginning. Even if you're a step, like he gets rid of the ball, it's still a clean hit, but it's after he releases the ball, rattle him. Let him know you're there. And 2, you also got to talk about the red zone defense so far for the Bulldogs. So far in 15 trips for opposing teams, they have scored 15 times, 14 of those being touchdowns. You have to force field goals. Force turnovers. They cannot be that efficient on offense today.
Well, Nathan DeBryan out today. He's only made 1 field goal on the year, so Shane Dunning is going to do the place kicking today for Drake. And you being a former kicker, how much effect does that have to do? How much effect does that have when you're not used to place kicking? You're used to punting. Is there a different type of strategy, Mr. Kicker?
Oh yeah. This is a terrible first game to play. And if you're a kicker, it is wet, it is a little cold, and it is rainy. It is going to be a tough snap, a tough hold, and even tougher to kick with that wet ball. Definitely not what you dream of as your first start, but I think he'll be very capable. and get the job done today for them.
Butler's last win against Drake came at home in 2015. They won that game 20-13. The all-time series is in favor of the Drake Bulldogs as well, out of Des Moines, Iowa. 21-8-1. That one tie coming in the first meeting between these two teams back in 1932.
Yes, and it has been a long time since the Butler Bulldogs have gotten a win against Drake. You and I suffered 4 losses in our 4 years, so hopefully the Butler Bulldogs will be able to turn it around and get a win here today.
PFL action all across the board today. 4 games with noon kickoff. The other 4 at 3:30. Luka Zurich will get us tipped here. He's averaging about, he's got 4 touchbacks on the year. He usually likes to keep it in play, lefty left type of style, Drew. And you know all about that. This different strategy between where you place the ball on your kickoffs can really have an emphasis on what you're going to do for the rest of the game.
Absolutely, and there is no wind today, so he should be in control of where this ball goes. Always a little nerve-wracking to start the game going deep left when you got the looming out of bounds right there.
Back deep to return for Drake. Nas Reynolds as well as Caden Meese. And Zurich will get us kicked off. It's PFL action here at the Bud and Jackie Sellick Bowl. Taking it on the right side. That's Reynolds. He breaks 1 tackle, and he'll be drawn out on the right side past the 30-yard line. Good return for the Bulldogs of Drake.
Yeah, that's where you really want to set the tone if you're Butler. It's not exactly what you wanted them getting out to the 31-yard line, but still they flew down there. They had a nice hit. He got out of it, but still they're saying, you know, we're here to play. We're going to hit you hard all game.
Blake Ellingson, the starting quarterback for Drake, redshirt freshman out of Libertyville, Illinois. Originally committed to North Dakota. Threw a couple passes there. He transfers to Drake, and now he's getting his first career start. He will hand it off to Meese up the middle. And brought down after a short gain on the right side. Beg your pardon, that's Grant Gosling.
And that's exactly how you want to start the game if you're Drake. Getting 4 yards on that first carry. If you get 4 yards every down, and that's a first down after every 3 plays. But you want to start to establish this run game, ease your new quarterback in, and then hopefully open up the passing game even though it is a little wet.
So far through 4 games, Drake with over 1,200 yards in total offense. Hand off to Cross Robinson on the left side. He's brought down by Jacob Kane after a 2-yard gain.
Drake so far this season only 36% conversion on their 3rd downs. You really want to see that number in the 50, creeping more towards the 60s. And hopefully the Bulldogs will be able to get them off the field here.
8 of 3 on the play. That brings up 3rd down.
3rd down and 3 for Drake. Great stop by Jacob Kane, the 6'2", 210-pound redshirt freshman out of Lafayette, Indiana, Harrison High School. Bulldogs in their 3-4 set. Robinson in the backfield with Ellingson. Robinson will take it up the middle, lowers his shoulder, and gets tackled after the first down carry by Bradley McGee.
Cross Robinson. Tackle on the play by Bradley McGee. 1st and 10 at the 45.
Bradley McGee, 12 tackles on the year. They're going to go no huddle. Cross Robinson up the middle. He's brought down by Elua Bigiramana.
And if you're Butler, in those 3rd down and medium situations, you want to get off the field, and you almost have to get off this field because they're just going to keep draining that clock and keep getting that running game going. You really need to take advantage of those opportunities, and they will start to. You just got to ease into the game a little bit.
All runs so far through 5 plays. Screen pass out on the right side, on the left side, excuse me. That is number 21, Michael Marquette.
Spoken into existence right there for them to finally go with the pass. But that's exactly how you want to start. A nice little screen, get them comfortable, 1 for 1 on the day, and now bringing up another 3rd and medium.
Ellingson drops back to pass. Quick throw out of the right side. That's going to be incomplete, falling short of Caden Meese's hands. 3rd down. 4th down, excuse me. Thanks. Thank you, Drew. I'm like Tom Brady, I can't count.
And that's what you're going to see a lot of today. That ball is going to slip out of the hand. It'll either sail or go a little low on guys. That's why it's so important to establish that run game, since we've been talking about it this whole time. But it's also going to affect special teams. This snap is looking right around 12 yards.
Joey Audia back deep to return from Shane Dunning, averaging about 31 yards a kick. Audia smartly will fair catch this one. The Bulldogs of Butler will take over.
Butler takes over first down and 10.
So Bushka last week, 16 completions, 141 yards. Flogger led the way in the receiving category, 4 receptions, 37 yards. Butler had not sustained a long drive until a 10-play drive in the third quarter that stalled out in the red zone. So the Dogs are looking for
Butler first down and 10
some better rhythm, I suppose you could say. A.J. Deinhardt to the left of Bushka. Bushka drops back. He's got some pressure. Goes out to the right, finding Rusk. And Nate Rusk has a first down and more for Butler.
Nate Rusk does exactly what you want to see when your quarterback starts to scramble. He ditched the route he was running, and he found the gap, and he was sitting there waving his hands, letting him know, I am wide open, and a great way to start for Butler.
Great gain by Rusk on the first play of the drive. They're going to need more of that. Orlando split out on the left side. He'll go in motion. Bushka fakes to Orlando. He's got some space, and Brett Bushka will gain a first down. 2 plays, 2 first downs, Drew.
A little bit of a read option there. He saw the outside linebacker coming down hard, and he decided to hold on to it, not give it to Orlando, and got the first down. Great decision, especially out of your young quarterback starting in his 5th game.
Well, Bushka had, maybe he likes the rain against Drake. He came in as a reliever in the spring, went through 85 yards and a touchdown to Luka Popovic. Handoff to Orlando this time. That looked like an almost triple option. Orlando's going to keep it himself. Get close to the first down. Brought down at the 45.
When this offense is firing on all cylinders, they are so dynamic and so hard to stop. You have Nick Orlando, a quarterback that can play out wide as a receiver, come across and take a handoff, and then he can pass, he can run triple option, or he can get 9 yards.
And using him as that type of gadget player gives you a lot of versatility. Bushka keeping it himself once again, and he'll be brought down in the backfield.
Bushka stopped for a loss on the play.
And that's more of what you expect to see out of the Drake Bulldogs. They are historically a very stout defensive team. They gave up a couple first downs early, but now they're showing just how good they can be on the defensive side of the ball.
On the stop there was Ryan Criseri, number 39, from Aurora, Illinois. Drake appearing like they're going to bring the house. Flogger in motion. Bushka drops back. He'll keep it himself, and he'll be brought down. Possibly a horse collar tackle. Looks like maybe they got tied up.
By 24, Kieran Cohorst.
Kieran Cohorst on the stop.
The sideline was wanting it, but now the punt unit will come on. Luka Zurich averaging 41 yards a punt.
No gain on the play.
Can really flip the field here and make it hard on Drake.
46, Lucas Zurich into punt for Butler.
So the 6-play drive will end in a punt for Butler.
Proctor set to return for Drake.
Zurich boots this one away. Proctor back there to return, and this will dribble out of bounds, and Drake will take over.
Really a perfect punt, no return.
17-yard line. That's where Drake will take over first down.
Trying to do quick math in my head, not working out very well. Right around the 39-yard punt. Can't really ask for much more.
No, it's certainly above average for Luca, and he, sorry, below average. Don't mean to have any slander for Luca. 43 yards average on his punts. So we'll get to see Ellingson once again. Under 9 minutes to go here in the first quarter. He will hand off. Over to the left side, that's Colin Howard. Excuse me, that's Austin Flax.
82 Austin Flax on the carry for Drake, 3-yard gain.
3-yard gain and on the jet sweep. I think that was a touch pass, so if that goes, that does count as a completion.
And Connor Reed showing his range, getting all the way from the near side of the screen all the way over to the far side to make that play.
Cross Robinson up the middle, trying to squeak his way through. He'll get another 4 for Drake.
Handoff goes to Cross Robinson. Tripped up by 29, Tommy Carlson. 3rd down and 2 for Drake.
And Butler's defense so far this year has been stout in these situations, only allowing a 37% 3rd down conversion percentage for their opponents. Can they get off the field here?
And the rushing defense has been a little bit troubling for Butler. Passing defense so far this year has been relatively stout. 3 interceptions, only 155 yards allowed per game. This is going to be a false start on Drake.
Flag on the field.
False start, offense, number 7, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Guilty party was Tyler Barrett, 5th-year senior out of Austin, Texas. Certainly doesn't help Drake and the momentum that they had there. But it does help Butler. Ellingson, nobody in the backfield. That ball dribbled past him. Jacob Kane with the pressure, but Jordan Castleberry with the sack. Well, you said it, Drew. Sacks have to be important today. Pressure actually has to be important, but getting the sack is the reward. Jordan Castleberry's 2nd sack on the season, and that, more importantly, is what you want to see out of your captain.
Absolutely, and the center for Drake, we have to say, he is playing through a broken right hand, his dominant hand snapping with his left, the ultimate football guy right there. His 5th year, 7 games left. He wants to be on that field, and it is going to be a little difficult for him today with how wet it is.
Yeah, Mark Bach, the 5th-year senior, you said it, broken hand. God, that has to hurt. Audia back to return. Made a nice move, but the turf monster gets him. Regardless, though, 45-yard line for Butler is where they will start. Couldn't ask for a more ideal situation out of your second drive. One thing to point out, starting at left tackle is Gavin Johnson, moves over from left guard. Ben Treese, broken leg, out for the year. That hurts for Butler. Lose a little bit of size with Treese gone, but Gavin is a solid left tackle replacement. Colton Rulin fills in a left guard. Here's the handoff. Michael Benefield gains about 4.
And what you like to see out of him right there is his feet just don't stop moving. Even when he has 2 guys draped all over him, those feet are just go, 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 and getting those extra yards at the end of the run.
Train doesn't stop.
At the 43-yard line.
By no means. Bushka, split set in the backfield. He will hand it to Michael Benefield, trying to make his way around the edge. And he'll get pushed out initially with the broken tackle by Alex Rogers.
Making something out of nothing. They say hungry dogs run faster. AJ and Benefield have been wanting more carries, and now with Samuels not playing today, they are going to get that opportunity. And they've been hungry for it.
Benefield joining Bushka. A.J. Deinhardt split off to the right side of their bunch with 2 tight ends. Reverse to A.J. Deinhardt. He's got some wheels, lowers the shoulder, and he'll gain just 3 yards.
And you would think this might be 4-down territory here for the Bulldogs, being right on the 38-yard line.
Looks like that's the attitude here for Butler. They bring Orlando in and Nate Walker.
Mainly because a punt, if it goes in the end zone, doesn't really do you much good. You net 13 yards.
See Coach Kyle Connor there on your screen. See what they bring here. Scrunch set out to the right side. 1 tight end. Benefield will join. Orlando.
Looks like a double pass.
Does look like a double pass. He's going to have to make something work here. Improv. Orlando. Did he get to the first down?
It looked like he got to the mark, but there is a flag thrown in the backfield. More than likely, usually when you see some laundry back there, it's a holding on the offense.
Well, Drake was ready for the double pass regardless, and I think that was what maybe caused the flag. Maybe somebody held. We'll see.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense number 22.
Certainly not what we thought. Roughing the passer on Drake, and that will be an automatic first down. Not what you want to see from your defense if you're Coach Todd Stepsis.
Now, I don't exactly understand how it works, but a backwards pass is not really a pass, right? Because he was a live runner technically at that point.
Brett was?
Yes, because the pass was not a forward pass, so Nick could throw it again. Is he really a passer then?
That's a good point.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay.
But I know your gripe with refs.
I do, because that's a very not favorable spot right now. He reached out, extended onto the line, the nose of the ball, not even touching.
That is a huge, huge penalty.
Personal foul penalty sets the Dogs up first down and 10.
So here we go, red zone for Butler. Opportunity here for the Dogs there. 13 of 17 in the red zone. All touchdowns. No field goals. Here's Brett Bushka on the draw. Bushka got popped after a 5-yard gain.
Bushka with the keeper.
And that's also what makes him so dangerous. He can beat you with his arm and he can beat you with his legs.
Tackle by 9.
He's just a very dynamic quarterback and hard to stop. It's also good to see him get up after that very hard hit. Looks like he's getting subbed out for Nick Orlando. Nick Orlando, usually the runner, but can throw the ball. We'll see what they do with him.
Orlando, talented player. Making calls at the line. But a timeout prior to the snap. With 3:27 to go, Butler's going to take a timeout.
That is their first of the half.
And that'll be their first of the half. So, Drew, you look at the red zone efficiency. We mentioned 13 to 17, all touchdowns. Butler has been great at getting the ball into the end zone. You know, those 4 trips that they lost, those were either turnovers or trying to go for it. That's the no field goal attempts. And when you have that aggressive strategy, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. If you're Drake, you lead the PFL in forced turnovers. Formula kind of matches up.
Yeah, and being a kicker, I'm always one for take the points just because I enjoyed getting out on the field. But I think you're right, especially in a 0-0 game right now against the team that has owned the record over the last 5-10 years. You want to score, you want to set the tone, and you want to get ahead early. And you don't want to trade field goals for touchdowns. And that's just what it comes down to. So I always understand and understood why you want to go for it on 4th down, but you also have to trust your kicker, too, to give you a little bit of a lead, and trust your defense.
We'll see what Coach Connor and Coach BJ Code have drawn up here for the Dogs. 2nd and 5, ball on the 15-yard line of Drake.
After the timeout, 2nd down and 5 for Butler at the 15-yard line.
Based on the formation, A.J. Deinhardt looks like he might run across, and then Nick might do a little read option out of this. Or not.
Orlando will pass out to Schwantz. That one almost picked off. Good job pursuing by Declan Carr, senior out of Frankfort, Illinois.
81 Austin Schwantz falls incomplete. Broke it up by
And that's a tough
22.
situation there for Nick Orlando. A great play by the Drake defense, but having not thrown a pass yet, again, with a wet ball.
3rd down and 5 for Butler at the 15-yard line.
He was looking for his favorite target. When passing to Austin Schwantz, he's 1 for 1 and a touchdown.
I would go back to him, too.
Yeah, very natural. Looks like that little bit of deception didn't fool Drake at all. In motion is Schwantz. Bushka drops back. He will keep it himself. Brett Bushka slides.
First down
smartly.
and a very late, it looked and a late hit, no call. Showed the slide early.
Yeah, I don't think any targeting would be implied here. This is 4th down and short. And it looks like Butler will go for it. 4th and a couple centimeters.
So if you're saying he slid at the 11-yard line and that's where you're marking him, and then he gets hit more towards the 8-yard line late, I mean, that's a late hit.
I would presume it.
Definitely not targeting.
Deinhardt, single man in the backfield. Rusk in motion. Orlando has to get it off. He does. Orlando makes one man miss. Another, and he'll be brought down, but it looked like his face mask got grabbed. But there's no call.
2 huge missed calls right there. I mean, you mark him down at the 11. He gets hit inside the 10. By definition, that's a late hit. A clear face mask. It did look like Orlando did have an open receiver. I didn't catch the number. But again, you want to score. You want to set the tone early. It just didn't work out. But 2 very bad missed calls.
7 plays, 28 yards, and unfortunately for Butler, they go over on that drive. Why not just run it up the gut?
They're a great running team, averaging right around 4.9 yards a carry so far this season.
I like your chances if you're Butler there on a short play like that. Regardless, a turnover by Drake on downs. Rushing the ball here, that is Dorian Boylan. So Drake obviously trying a few different running backs here.
And Connor Reed, again, coming downhill, laying the boom. Just a really fun guy to watch.
He sure is. Ellingson going to throw it deep. Marquette, incomplete.
Ellington's pass intended for Michael Marquette.
A good throw again. In the right around the receiver's range of being able to catch that, hitting both of his hands. But again, with that wet ball, it's going to be tough to come down with them today.
Ellingson, so far, 2 for 4, 7 yards.
3rd down and 6 for Drake at the 20.
3rd down and 6 for the Bulldogs of Drake. Hurrying to the line, they have to get this play off within 5 seconds. Ellingson drops back. Looks for his receiver, he finds him. Colin Howard will get the first down, and he's brought out of bounds at the 34.
And it was really good coverage there by Thomas Rousseau, but just a better throw, only where his receiver could get it right on the sideline.
Last week, Drake losing in the final 90 seconds. They gave up a touchdown on a 4th and 10 but from Valparaiso. And Nathan Bryan's kick got blocked to tie the game, so they dropped that matchup 24-21. A couple people jumping off sides. And false start here will be called on Drake.
Looked like number 54, Austin Corba, leading the charge on that, pointing right at the center. And some of the guys on the line saying, I need you to call this, please, now.
It was him, I swear.
And a great start for the Butler Bulldog defense, getting off the field on Drake's first 2 possessions. And while the offense hasn't scored, they are giving them long times of rest so they can come back on fresh, which is a big change we've seen from last season, But can they get off the field again?
Ellingson, handoff up the middle. Again, that's Boylan.
36, Dorian Boylan on the carry.
Big, 6'1", 225, freshman out of Medina, Ohio.
Jack Belskis.
Just a 1-yard gain, Jack Belskis on the tackle.
1 minute to play in the first quarter.
Belskis with 15 tackles this year.
Second down and
He's just 2 behind the leader, Elua Bigirimana. Ellingson will hand off again to Boylan on the left side. He's got some space. Boylan almost reaching the Don Benbow 50-yard line and getting a first down for Drake. Under 30 seconds to play here in the first quarter.
13-yard gain for Boylan.
And a great block right there by, it looked like, number 82, Austin Flax, keeping Bradley McGee away from making the play and getting that first down.
Drake will run out the clock here to the end of the first quarter. Our score knotted up at 0 after our first quarter here. Thank you so much for being with us. You are watching the Butler Bulldogs and the Drake Bulldogs on the Butler Athletics YouTube page.
To 11 a.m. Registration includes instruction, t-shirt, lunch, and a ticket to the Dogs football game versus San Diego at noon. All participants are invited.
Welcome back to the Button Jackie Sellick Bowl. We are knotted up at 0 here for Drake and Butler. Want to take a second to recognize the Helinski's Hope Foundation. Helinski's Hope is a foundation dedicated to improving and supporting the mental health of student athletes in memory of former college football player Tyler Helinski of Washington State, who tragically passed away, taking his own life in January of 2018. His parents started the foundation to recognize that most of his illness was posthumously diagnosed with CTE. So this call to action for colleges and universities nationwide to participate in breaking down the stigma, offering quality resources, and letting student athletes know that we care. Both Butler and Drake, as well as 70 other college football teams, are supporting this foundation by wearing the green ribbon on your screen with the number 3. And to the Helinskis, thank you for bringing attention to the mental health of student athletes. Your son's legacy lives through college football each and every day.
We're ready to start the second quarter.
We're getting ready to start the second quarter here at the Button Jackie Sellick Bowl. First and 10 for Drake off a great run by Boylan, who is the leading rusher with 23 yards for Drake so far. Handoff to Cross Robinson up the middle. And he will gain about 3 yards.
And Butler so far, no turnovers, no penalties. Exactly what you want to see to start a game. You want to play a clean game of football, because usually if you keep it going, no turnovers, no penalties for a whole game, it's very hard to lose.
4-yard gain on the play brings up 2nd down and 6.
2nd and 6 for Drake. Ross Robinson with 21 yards on the ground. Boylan and Robinson so far getting the bulk of the carries. And up again to Robinson. He's got some space. He'll get close to the 1st down line. Gain just 5 yards.
Brought down by 33.
Looks like they're going to go quick here.
Belskis on the tackle.
At the 43-yard line.
No huddle for Drake. Robinson up the middle again. Briefly stymied, and then he finds a little bit of space. Puts his head down and gains the 1st down for Drake.
Got it with a little bit of a second win. The Butler defense was there pushing their offensive line back. And then just a great play to get the 1st down.
Coach Joe Cheshire, a couple of new coach additions on the defensive side. Jacob White, assistant defensive backs coach, former player for Ball State last year. And then Kenny Ray Augustus, D-line coach, formerly at McKendree prior to Butler. And then he was at UIndy for a time. Pass out to the left side. That is hauled in by number 19, Matt Hartlieb.
Pass complete to 19, Matt Hartlieb.
And the passing game starting to get going for the Drake Bulldogs.
Pushed out of bounds by 8, Devin
Senior out of Mequon, Wisconsin. Taking it himself is Ellingson, looking for a man. He's going to have to get rid of this one, and he will not. That is a sack. Thomas Rousseau.
And that is where you see the youngness, and it being his first start, he very easily could have thrown that ball out of bounds. But instead, an 8-yard loss. Those are little mistakes he will begin to fix, and I'm sure he'll be hearing about it.
Well, when you don't have a lot of that experience, you know, you're being thrown in, get a couple snaps at a former school, and then you come over to Drake, you get this start, those kind of plays are going to happen, and I'm sure when he goes to watch film, he'll see that. Handoff to Meese. Up the middle, nice tackle by Michael Wellman. A little bit of extracurricular at the end of the play, no call, just a little bit of juice. You see Coach Terrell Hankins, he's responsible for the linebackers this year. And they've been solid. This group leads the way in tackles. Specifically, Alua Biguramana and Malachi Pike, along with Jack Belskis, Bradley McGee, all double-digit tacklers through 4 games. It's not easy to do. 3rd down and 13. And they will get Drake on a false start, it looks like.
A little bit of a late flag makes you a little...
Yeah, it makes you a little nervous about it being encroachment, but...
It also makes you a little nervous, too. We know that I have a long-held qualm with referees. You have the head ref and the guy behind everything making that call, and not your 2 refs right on the line of scrimmage.
Well, that has to be something that comes up for Drake. His 3 false start penalties. Is it the cadence that maybe Ellingson has that's causing this kind of issue?
Everyone's trying to adjust right now, especially with a new quarterback. You don't get a lot of reps with him. Probably his first week of practice getting all the ones reps.
Handoff up the middle. Going to the right side, that's Naz Reynolds, and he'll be brought down short of the 1st down, it looks like. This could be 4th down for Drake, but the way this game's going, they might go for it. No field goals attempted for Shane Dunning. DeBryan out today.
And while Drake is getting those penalties every time they have gotten one, they have gotten it back and more every single time, having great responses. Then if you're the Butler Bulldogs, you have to be able to take advantage of those costly penalties.
Here we go. 22 personnel, I formation. Handing it up the middle. Is he stopped? Jordan Castleberry was here on the initial hit. He is. Turnover for Butler.
And the guys are juiced. That is exactly what you want to see out of your defense on this one. Again, number 92, Carson Golgan, pumped up running off the field. That is a huge win for the Dogs and is a huge shift of momentum. Some people don't believe it exists. I do. You get the crowd cheering, the sidelines popping. That's a great defensive stand, and it's not really a surprise for Drake. Don't have a lot of trust in the kicking game right now. But again, it's still tied. But if both teams had gone for their field goals, it could be 3-3.
13 plays, 75 yards. No score for Drake. Bushka will keep this one. Tries to pick a pitch a couple of times out to Benefield, and he'll take it himself for a 9-yard gain on the triple option. Jack Boyd was the other running back in the backfield, who mainly satisfies the return game.
Oh, we have a ref down a little bit, got backed up into him. He is taking a second right now.
That he is. Looks like possibly his neck. Chris Tinke springing into action. Head athletic trainer for Butler.
Looked like it was number 9 for the Bulldogs, Jeremy Johnson, coming on the field with his head turned towards the sideline. Didn't see the ref and just backed up.
Oh, he hit him as he was coming on?
Yeah.
I thought it was during the play.
No, hit him as he was coming on. Has to hurt.
That's unfortunate. Good thing he's all right. Brett Bushka drops back. Quick throw out to Flogger. He's got the first down. Well, he brought down immediately. Did the ball fall out, though?
It looked like they ruled him down before. And it's really good to see him get a touch. I believe his first reception of the game.
That's right.
You really want to get him going. He's a huge weapon for this offense. It's good to see him get his first catch.
Yogi Flogger with 4 receptions for 37 yards last week. In the loss against St. Thomas, Butler's longest drive, 12 plays, 40 yards. Into the red zone once against St. Thomas last week in St. Paul. Boyd in motion, handoff to Benefield. Benefield, long gain for Butler, and a first down.
And just to go back for a second, the Bulldogs with their first red zone stop of the year right there. Be good to get that off your chest too, finally getting a red zone stop.
Well, they certainly needed a bit of that momentum, and they got it with a huge stop on defense. 17-yard gain there for Benefield. Butler with 53 rush yards to Drake's 59. Bushka dropping back. Hits his check down. That's Benefield again, but he's out of bounds. This will be an incomplete pass. I think his foot was out as he hauled that one in.
Bushka's pass ruled incomplete, intended for Michael Benefield.
But again, a smart decision there by Bushka. Taking his check down, nobody open, not taking a sack.
Second down and 10 for Butler at the 39-yard line.
So second down and 10. Bushka with 2 tight ends in. Suchovitz and Schwantz to his left. He'll hand off to Benefield. No, he'll fake. 2 guys in the same area. Doesn't matter. He hits Flogger on the comeback route. And that's a big gain for Butler.
One of the classic calls by Coach Connor. We saw it all the time in practice with Ryan Kelly. But you just have him go out on like a little bootleg, fake the handoff, get out wide, and it seems like he's always open for a huge gain.
See Coach Kyle Connor animated after a big play. And we know he likes to yell into the mic of whoever's signaling.
He makes sure
Brody
that
Reeder
they know
in this
the plays.
case. He does make sure. Bushka, hand up, Fake handoff to Benefield. He's going to loft this one on a wheel route to A.J. Deinhardt, and he'll fall out of bounds. 2nd and 10.
But again, a smart decision. He was very well covered. He put it really wide, so it was either going to be out of bounds. Didn't give A.J. a great chance of making a play on the ball, but no harm, no foul.
Couple of big plays for Butler. Benefield on a 17-yard gain, and Flogger with the huge catch on the comeback route. Twin set. He'll send Boyd in motion. Bushka. He's got some pressure. Escapes one tackler, and he'll launch this one out of bounds. Boy, free hot dog blitzer.
Two of them. I don't know if that was just a great defensive play call or a little bit of a missed assignment up front. Either way, a good decision. Almost turned out very poorly getting that sack, but he got out of it, threw the ball out of bounds. 3rd and long. Probably not 4-down territory. Probably will go with a punt here if they don't get it.
Let's see what happens here. Last week, Butler only moved the chains 4 times on 3rd down. Bushka trying to find some space, spits it out to Benefield, and he'll get brought. Oh, after a couple of spins, he will not be brought down, but he will go out of bounds after a short gain, and that'll bring up 4th down. I think they were trying to go deep, Drew, but they settle here, and this will be likely a short punt.
Yeah, it's a tough spot if you're the punter here, because especially with over a 40-yard average, you're on the 41. You want to hope for a nice high bounce, or you can hit a little short, have it roll out, or aim straight out of bounds right around the 5-yard line.
This drive will stall out at the 39. Zerk's going to have to get a little below average, almost blocked. That ball high in the air. Had to be careful of a muff, but it's hauled in by Jaron Proctor. So that drive, 8 plays, 50 yards. All the way down to the Drake 41.
Drake will take over first down.
They've been able to move the ball. They've been able to get in the red zone, but so far 0 for 1. And they're having good drives, but these drives need to start turning into points.
Thank you, Mark Brower, for the recognition. On the PA. Here's Ellingson. He'll fake. Over the middle, trying to find Colin Howard. Diving effort does not connect.
And pretty good coverage there from number 8, Devin Aguilar. Haven't really called his name much today. But again, doing everything right. Would have been right there if the catch was made.
Aguilar, the 2nd defensive captain, along with Jordan Castleberry. He leads the team in interceptions with 2, 14 yards on his returns. That was both of those were against DePaul. Cross Robinson gets some pressure. Great play inside by Malachi Pike. Huge tackle for loss in the backfield, and it's 3rd down and 13.
And now we've said it plenty of times today, but we're going to say it again. You have to get off the field on this play. They are deep in their own territory. They're only averaging 39 yards a punt right now. It would be right around the 50. You would start in great field position.
And not to mention, too, if you're Butler, you can work with it 5 and change
1,
minutes.
0. Play clock is at 0.
Play clock is at 0. They do give it to him. Cross Robinson will take it up the middle, but it doesn't matter. That's a 3rd down stop for Butler. Tackled by Elua Bigiramana. This linebacker play, I have to say, Coach Hankins has done well coaching these guys. Very disciplined thus far throughout the year.
Yeah, they stay home. They know their assignment on every play. Can lead the guys in front of them, tell them what's going on. And they had a wonderful guy to learn from in a Butler great, number 42, Mason Brunner.
That's right. Old Brun brought the juice. Dunning on the punt. This one long. Audia is going to elect not to take this one. And the sophomore from Muskego, Wisconsin, punts this one all the way down to the 39. Excuse me, the 40 of Butler. The Dogs will get their drive headed here with 5:12 remaining. 2 timeouts left. Drake has all of their timeouts. Quick stat hit for you. Bushka through the air, 39 yards on 4 completions out of 7 attempts. That's 57%. Ellingson, 4 for 7 as well for 43 yards through the air. Rushing, leading rusher is Brett Bushka for Butler. Michael Benefield, the leading running back, with 21 yards. Cross Robinson on the other side for Drake, 31 yards rushing, leading the Bulldogs there. Deinhardt in motion. Bushka's going to keep it himself. Got a lane. Dives at the first down line at the Don Benbow 50.
And with 5 minutes left here in the second quarter, this is exactly what you want to do. Keep that clock running. You have plenty of time to make it down into the red zone and score, but you don't want to leave 2-3 minutes left on that clock. You don't want to score too quick and give Drake an opportunity, especially because you get the ball at halftime coming out. You want to get that 7, not leave any time to score, and hopefully turn it into a 14-0 lead.
Four and a half minutes to play here in the first half. Handoff to Deinhardt. Makes a man miss. Deinhardt scooting his way for another first down for the Bulldogs.
And that is the A.J. Deinhardt we are accustomed to seeing, too. Shifty enough to make a guy miss, but powerful enough to run right in between the tackles. And you saw it all on display right there.
Hasn't had as many carries this year until now with the absence of Samuels. So Deinhardt and Benefield will gain most of those carries. And now they're in the scoring zone. Bushka, draw to himself. He gets tripped up. Good effort there by number 29, Riley Dravitt, freshman out of Winfield, Illinois, Wheaton North High School.
Tripped up by 29, Riley.
And it looks like the rain has started to let up a little bit here.
A little bit of started to dissipate a little bit. Second and 8. We thought the rain was going to be an issue. We thought lightning maybe, but so far so good for the K9 Conundrum. That would have been the K9 Conundrum if we had a lightning delay.
It would have been.
Bushka trips to his right side. Launches one. That was a laser beam to Austin Schwantz, broken up by Danny Morales, who Drake is very, very pleased to have back.
Very, very pleased. And you just saw how effective he is, coming from the middle of the field all the way out to about the numbers to make that play.
And when they're in that cover 3 kind of shaded look, he's the one that's going to have to determine, okay, I need to go now. There's no deep receivers.
He doesn't have any time to think. He's just going. He's just going.
Bushka with Boyd to his left, Deinhardt to his right. He'll send them both out, and he's all alone. Drops back. Quick pass out of the right side, and Flogger will be brought out of bounds at the 33-yard line.
Definitely too far out for a field goal and too far in for a punt. Definite 4-down territory.
You know, the third down plays that we've seen last drive, they hit a check down, receivers recovered. But a short pass like that, you think you want to go on a 3rd and long especially, go for a little bit more of a...
Maybe go to the sticks, have all your routes in,
exactly.
At least at the first down marker.
We are still scoreless here in the first half. Thanks so much for joining us here.
The Bulldogs so far 0-1 on their 4th downs, have not been able to convert. And a smart timeout call there by Coach Connor and Coach Vors, making sure they have the right play, especially with 2:36 left in the half. You want to make sure that this is your best play you can think of to get a first down. Do not want to give Drake that much time.
Well, Coach Al Smith, the defensive coordinator for Drake, the type of guy that loves to bring pressure. We've seen it a bunch of times already. Jaron Proctor had intercepted Valpo's first pass of the game last week near midfield. Returned it 41 yards deep into their territory, and then Brandon Langdock ran into the house. Drake was up 7-0 early. That game just went back and forth. I went and rewatched that. And it just, both teams just didn't really give up at all. And I think that was kind of the attitude that they both had in the game. And Valpo starting to become more of a prolific maybe not prolific, but somebody that we need to watch out for in the PFL.
Yeah, and
Drake
I think
has always been consistent.
And I think, too, that's exactly what you're seeing here today. Knotted up at 0-0, no team giving an inch, both having fourth down stops in the red zone so far. It might be shaping up for another one of those games.
Bit of a tug-of-war scenario right now with 2.5 to play in the first half.
Made sure to get a dry ball in there. You saw him switch it out.
Have to. Coach Boris always emphasizing the wet ball drill, but if you can have a dry one, why not? Bushka alone in the backfield. Drops back to pass. Finds Deinhardt. Great focus and concentration by A.J. Deinhardt to gain the first down.
And
more importantly, make the catch.
And exactly what you want to see right there. Get a fresh set of downs. 2:29 left. See if you can drain it a little more. Have a couple runs. You have been very effective so far. Still averaging over 4 yards a carry. Keep it on the ground. The clock is running now after the chains have been set, and find the back of that end zone. Or you get the ball at half. It is okay to take 3 points because you'll have another opportunity to score immediately after this.
Oh, good point. I mean, take your time or don't. Got to get the ball in the end zone regardless. That's Deinhardt's 5th catch. This one for the most yardage. Bushka's going to take this one himself. Gained some tough yards.
And you can hear the Bulldog sideline very into it. They all yelled sweep to try to confuse the Drake defense. It's always great to see a locked-in sideline.
It is. That's part of the emphasis that Butler brings forward their sideline.
And Drake with a smart timeout here. Under 2 minutes left. You really want to get them off the field. And you're okay here. If they do get 3 points out of this drive, you just don't want to see 7.
Well, Butler is 29th in the FCS in points per game. 33.5 is their average. Obviously helped by their historic 77-24 victory over the Taylor Trojans 2 weeks ago. Regardless, though, this team does know how to score points.
And we have seen how good they can be. And so now we kind of come to expect it. Like you see 77 points, you're like, they'll probably score 35 this week. Oh, but then you get shut out last weekend. You really want to come back from that strong.
Love to see people getting up for it today at the Sellick Bowl. Good crowd here on hand here in Indianapolis. Second down and medium. Under 2 minutes to go here. Butler on the 24-yard line of Drake.
Second down and 6 for Butler.
Bushka once again empty in the backfield. Fakes it to Deinhardt. Looking for some space, and he's brought down by the closing safety, Danny Morales.
With the keeper, tackled by 32, Danny Morales.
You're hearing that name quite a bit today.
That is their second of the half.
Talked to the radio guys, the Varsity Network for Drake, Chuck, and Ryan. They both emphasized how impactful having their captain back is in the defensive backfield.
He's just a ball hawk. Like wherever the ball is going to be, you know he's either going to be in on the play or right there. A great guy to have back. And if you're the Bulldogs, this is very manageable. You're on the 23-yard line. It is a little wet, probably in field goal range right now. You don't want to turn the ball over. Just have a good, solid play, and if there's nothing there, just get rid of it. Don't lose any yards and take the points.
Other PFL matchups, 4 of them Roland, Marist and Valparaiso, Davidson and Stetson, Dayton and Morehead State, and St. Thomas and San Diego. And of course, our game here.
A very quick first half so far because they have to run the ball so much. 2 quarters in about an hour. That's.
I was looking for scores and I didn't get any because none of them started yet.
And usually by now they'd be halfway through the first.
Exactly. Sure has been a quick first half. Let's see if the Dogs now knocking on the door. See if they can enter 3rd and 5. Deinhardt in the backfield with Bushka. Drops back. It's Rusk on the outside. He tried to haul it in with one hand. On the coverage there was Riley Dravitt. That'll be incomplete, and now bringing up 4th and 5. What do you do here, Drew?
I would kick, and it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Yep.
It is definitely tough coming in, not having any kicks yet today, sitting for an hour. But J.J. Wattis had a good spring and is very capable of making this kick. It's well within his range.
Good hold. Wattis' kick is up. And it sails through the uprights. So Butler takes the first lead of the game. 3-0.
And that's exactly what you wanted out of that drive. We talked about it earlier. You just want points. You're going to get the ball back with 1:39 left here in the half. You just needed something. A smart decision there by Brett Bushka. He saw that he kind of had a chance with Nate Rusk, but there was a defender right on him. He threw it where only his guy could get it. If he didn't get it, it was going to sail out of bounds. He gave him a chance. He almost got a fingertip on it. You really can't ask for a better drive to get the first points of the game on the board, and they drained enough clock to where it will be hard for Drake to make it down and score in 1:39.
Butler Bulldogs scoring drive, 10 plays.
10 plays, 37 yards, 40-yard field goal to finish that one out. That drive for Butler. See what the plan is here. Luka Zurich. You see the kickoff team lines up like they're going to try to do a surprise onside kick. Following through is something we'll see if they do.
23 Jackson Williams and 34 Nas Reynolds.
Jackson Williams and Nas Reynolds back deep to return for Drake.
And I always find that interesting because then they're ready for it. If you always line up like you're going to do it and they're always ready, then the kickoff return team will always line up like they're ready for you to do it. You want to make it, you want to sneak it in there a little bit more.
Nothing gets Drew Bettelheimer fired up more than special teams, baby.
Nope.
Love it. Reynolds will haul this one in. On the right side, he's got some space. Reynolds with a nice return all the way to the 39-yard line.
And that's exactly what you want to happen if you're Drake and exactly what you don't want to have happen if you're Butler. Getting almost to the 40-yard line, he basically got the first down, the first down and then some for his offense, putting them in a great spot to get into field goal range. But with a punter, now a kicker, not really having any experience, you got to think they're wanting to score 6 here.
Well, the good return certainly sets them up for it. Starting at the 39. Quick hit out to the right side. That is complete. Ellingson's pass complete to number 83, Brandon Langdock.
6-yard gain brings up
Hurry up offense here, 1:15 to go. Ellingson lofts this one across Robinson. Nice play to break it up by Devin Aguilar. Those are the kind of diving, saving plays you want to see out of your captain.
Captain and senior. Just a great play for him on kind of his victory lap. Being a 5th year, you want to make those plays, especially against someone you have not beaten yet in your career. He wants this win today, and he's going to leave it all out there.
So that incomplete pass stops the clock. It is 3rd down and 4 for Drake. Ellingson through the air, 49 yards, 5 completions out of 9 attempts. He's got some pressure. Ellingson spins away. He's going to have to take this one himself for the first down. He does get it. Initial pressure by Jack Belskis and Mike Weimer.
And those are ones you really wish you had. And when you go back to the film room, depending on the result of this game, they're the ones you want to have back. Really great pressure. Like we said, you got to make them uncomfortable. You want to hit them, but when you have those opportunities, especially with two guys there, you really want to see them brought down, but still a great effort there by the Bulldog defense, the Butler Bulldog defense.
Yeah, we can't confuse.
We can't confuse.
Can't confuse the dogs. Ellingson, a lot of time. Finally gets some pressure from Jordan Castleberry and Malachi Pike, and he'll toss this one out of bounds.
Ellingson throws it away.
And a smart decision, learning from last time, not taking the sack, throwing it out of bounds. 50 seconds left. You have plenty of time.
With 50 seconds remaining in the first half, it's 2nd down and 10 for Drake at the Don Benbow 50-yard line.
At the 50, Drake will take it, 2nd and 10. See what offensive coordinator Kirk Werrett has in store. Meese back behind Ellingson. He'll drop back. Fires to the right side, complete to Colin Howard on the alley cut route.
And Butler looks like they are playing a little bit of a softer coverage. They're going to let them complete some throws. They just don't want to give up the big one for a touchdown. The one thing you would like to see them start to do is keep them in bounds, because so far they've done a great job of getting out of bounds. All the passes have been towards the sideline, making it easy to stop the clock.
44 seconds to go here in our first half. Drake on the prowl, driving. Ellingson drops back. Lofts one deep to Colin Howard. Devin Aguilar pokes his hand through the targeted area. Great play to break that one up.
2 pass breaks in the span of 4 plays. Really showing out right now, not wanting them to get on the scoreboard. Drake does still have 1 timeout. They probably want to save that in case they have to kick, so you can expect them to stay in the air mostly, but they may want to try to run the ball here. They've been pretty successful so far.
Ellingson, quick pass over the middle. That one's dropped by Hunter Johnson, sophomore out of Edmond, Oklahoma, and it'll be 3rd down and 10 for Drake. Boy, he was open, Drew, and didn't make anything happen out of that one.
He did not make anything happen. Again, you could see there the Butler defense letting those soft passes underneath. They're okay with that happening because they had 3 guys in the area and more of a zone coverage. Now here, it's an interesting spot. If you're Drake, do you just have a play to the sideline for 5 or 6 yards and be willing to take it on 4th down? Only 34 seconds left. Is this 4-down territory? I think if you can get a completion here, it is.
Ellingson gets some pressure. Bradley McGee running after him. Tosses this one deep, and that'll be out of bounds. Intended receiver was Michael Marquette.
And now they're in between a rock and a hard place because they had an opportunity to make it a 4th down and manageable. Instead, went for the home run shot. And now they have to come on and punt. And Devin Aguilar back to receive a safe punt look from your Bulldogs, leaving the defense on the field, not letting anything sneaky get by them.
Special teams coordinator for Drake, Willie Cashmore, does like to have a couple tricks up his sleeve. Dunning will kick this one off. Late flag after the snap. Aguilar faking out Drake nicely, because that ball, if it was stopped within the 5-yard line, that'd be trouble for Butler.
Yes, what a deception. Again, your 5th-year senior. He has been around the block a few times. They all fell for it. Especially with your punter, usually should be yelling what direction it's going. That shouldn't happen too often, but a great sell job there by Devin Aguilar. And the flag looks to be on Drake.
Illegal formation on the kicking team.
It sure is. Illegal formation on Drake. 5-yard penalty.
Butler.
It'll be first down for Butler. 5-yard penalty will be added on to the touchback. So they should get started here at the 25.
More than likely we'll play it safe here, but you never know. Maybe they'll take a shot. 16 seconds. Probably not enough time. Looks like they're going to set up here just to take a knee, go into halftime with the lead.
That they will. Brett Bushka at the half, 6 of 11, 48 yards. Still the leading rusher for the Bulldogs with 43 yards on 10 attempts. For Drake, Blake Ellington, 6 of 14, 59 yards. Leading rusher, Cross Robinson, 31 yards on 9 attempts. Drew Bevelheimer, your first half impression before we go to break.
I think the big thing right now is penalties. Penalties. So far, Butler has committed none. They have the lead going in. Drake has had 4 for 33 yards. That is, the team with more penalty yards usually loses the game. And the Bulldogs are just playing clean football. You want to see them score more. They've been in the red zone. It did not get any points out of that. You had a great kick from J.J. Wattis outside of the red zone. You just want to keep your offense moving and hopefully turn them into 6.
Well, we'll see if any of that happens. Butler takes the lead 3-0 after a 40-yard kick from the right foot of J.J. Wattis. Stay tuned for the marching band halftime performance. You're watching Butler football on the Butler Athletics YouTube page.
Today, the Butler Marching Band performs their punk rock show in front of football fans. The band has not had a marching season in 2 years. Despite the preparations for a fun season, Butler Jr. Sam Hope recognizes the importance of band members pacing themselves.
We always do a check-in in the middle of practice. How are you doing? And if you're feeling like this, physically or mentally, take some time, sit out, really check yourself.
In a game as crucial as this, the Butler football squad needs a lot of support, and the CEO of Athletic Bands believes that the band can energize the team.
We are there to hype up the football team. It's like, all right, give them some entertainment so the football team can win, which happened at our first show.
Will the exciting sounds of the Butler Athletic Band be enough to hype up the fans and the team? We will find out in today's game against Drake.
Please welcome to the field the Butler University Marching Band. Today, the Butler University Marching Band will present its punk rock show, exploring music from famous artists from the 90s to today. We begin with the group Fall Out Boy, no strangers to the punk rock and alternative music. This tune peaked at number 2 on the U.S. Billboard Hot Rock and Alternative Songs in 2016. Here is Uma Thurman. Sitting at number 2 on the U.S. Modern Rock Track chart for 10 straight weeks, here is What's My Age Again? By Jimmy Eat World. From their 4th studio album, here is their #1 hit, The Middle.
The Butler University Spirit Shop is located just inside Gate 4 on the east side of Hinkle Fieldhouse. The Spirit Shop is open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday and on most Butler athletics game days. The Spirit Shop offers both in-store shopping options and in-store pickup by ordering online at butlerspiritshop.com. Inside, you can find items varying from mugs, accessories, apparel, and game replica Butler basketball uniforms, and the fan favorite Butler basketball Final Four Gordon Hayward replica jersey. The Spirit Shop also offers clothing apparel for many Butler University athletic teams with both youth and adult sizes. The Spirit Shop is a perfect place to find items for office or home, and there's even something for your pets. Next time you're on Butler University's beautiful campus, stop by and find the perfect gift for students, alumni, and fans alike.
Hello everybody, my name is Emma and welcome to our pregame pause. I am here with Butler Blue the Fourth, and we are going to be talking about today's matchup between the Butler Bulldogs and the Drake Bulldogs. Do you think that Butler is better than Drake? What are your thoughts about that? Yeah, I totally agree. What is your favorite part about a Butler University football game? What do you think? Oh, okay. I hear that. See you next time. Thank you for joining us for our pregame pause. Go Dogs! Go Dogs! Good boy.
I mean, it's no secret, we just didn't play our best football. And that goes for everybody. It wasn't just one position group or one specific player or a specific coach. It was everybody within the program. We didn't play our best. Coach likes to harp on the TNTs, which is just an acronym for the things that take no talent. And that's essentially we didn't excel at those against St. Thomas. So going into Drake, obviously we're hoping it's a little bit more like Taylor, but also credit to St. Thomas. They're a really good football team. So is Drake.
Certainly, we, through our week of preparation, Monday through Thursday, coming out to practice with the right frame of mind and getting a fast start, and certainly just concentrating on, the things that we call the TNTs, things that take no talent. We're trying to be turnover free, which certainly, we turned over the ball twice for St. Thomas last week, and we're trying to be assignment sound and then eliminate any pre-snap penalties that'll get us behind the chains on early downs. But the biggest thing is we need to compete better.
Right outside of the Sellick Bowl this morning were family members of the Butler football team eager to watch their loved ones play. The friends and relatives gathered to have some pregame fun, barbecue, and conversation. Amy Scott, mother of senior offensive lineman Trevor Scott, enjoys the entire atmosphere.
I love it. It's so fun. We have such a great crowd at Butler home games and away games. And I'm from Indianapolis, so it's really fun to just not have to travel a super far distance and come and enjoy a beautiful day at the Sellick Bowl.
The community is also one of our favorite aspects of the pregame experience.
It's a very close community. We all support each other and support all the players, and we get to see each other every weekend, so we form a tight-knit group.
Tracy Bushka, mother of junior starting quarterback Brett Bushka, knows just how precious these moments truly are.
Oh, these experiences only happen for so long, so we wouldn't miss a game.
As another great Parents Weekend kicks off at Butler, not even the rain can stop this one.
We script our first 10 plays. I can't always say that I stick to it all the way, probably get through at least half of it. And then different situations arise in the game, whether it's a third down, whether, you're backed up or, hey, we get a turnover and we're in the scoring zone. Sometimes situations change. But, yes, those two kids know at the script meeting that we have that, hey, Orlando, you're going to have, 2 snaps at quarterback or whatever it is in the first 10. Certainly, the expectation of what they're going to expect early in the game needs to be presented to them so that they can get in the right frame of mind. Then once the game takes a complexion that it does, then you go with, not what is working, but whether you're going to shuffle them in and out, or is, Brett going to play a lot of the plays or whatever it is. So it is scripted. The first 10, they know what's coming then, and then you got to kind of play it by ear based on, are you controlling the line of scrimmage and running it? Do you need to, get a little bit of, not trickery, but a little stuff with fast motion and nick in the backfield, whatever it might be, but that's how we kind of do it.
Welcome back to the Bud and Jackie Sellick Bowl. Joey Lindstrom alongside Drew Bevelheimer. So good to have you here with us on the Butler Athletics YouTube page in this presentation of FCS football and Pioneer football. Our lead is 3-0 here in the Sellick Bowl in favor of Butler after a 40-yard kick by J.J. Wattis on a 10-play, 37-yard drive for Butler. Drew, it seems like both these squads are just teetering on the edge of getting something done as Drake kicks off. Jack Boyd will return this one on the right side. Boyd got some space. Lowers the shoulder, and he'll be brought down at the 26-yard line. And Brett Bushka and Butler will get started.
And they have shown so far that they can move the ball. The question is, can they now turn that into more points? Only having 3 to show after being in the red zone one time and then getting that field goal on a separate drive, more points need to start happening because it seems like only a matter of time until one of these teams starts to open the floodgates.
A striking stat that you pointed out to me, third down conversions. Butler is 0 for 6 so far in the game. Drake is 4 of 9. Butler's going to need to figure out their third down plans. Bushka keeps it himself. Made one man miss, almost 2, as he'll be brought down at the 29-yard line for a 3-yard gain.
A couple of spins, had to even it out there. Didn't want to spin too many times one direction, get a little dizzy. But, again, he's just hard to bring down. He can beat you with his arm. He can beat you with his legs. And he keeps showing it time and time again. In that first half, his rushing, 10 attempts for 46 yards. You can't really ask for much better there out of your quarterback.
48 yards through the air on 6 completions. The pistol fakes to Deinhardt. Rolling to his right. Fires to Flogger, who catches it at around the 41-yard line, 42-yard line, call it. Great play to get a first down for Butler.
We saw a very similar play in the first half, and we said that play just seems to never miss. Again, a completion for a first down and a great block on the backside by A.J. Deinhardt. Got in the guy's way and really made that play able to happen after the faked handoff.
That's Flogger's second catch on a comeback route. Drake biting a little bit on those run fakes. Bushka hands off to Deinhardt. Broke one tackle in the backfield. He gains about 5 yards.
And that's what makes him a great option. He, at the line of scrimmage, had contact, but you can't just bring him down with an arm tackle. He's able to get 4 or 5 yards after that initial contact. He just keeps that head down and runs hard. Looks like Brett Bushka is out. Nick Orlando will go in at quarterback.
Orlando, not a whole lot of production in the first half. He tried that one slump fake on a pass, and then he only has 3 yards rushing on 2 attempts. Obviously want to get him a little more involved. Deinhardt in motion. Orlando will keep it himself. On the counter. He lowers his shoulder, gains a couple more yards, and it will be 3rd and 1. Third down has not been friendly to Butler so far today. 0 for 6, as we mentioned a couple minutes ago. Now looking for their first conversion of the day.
And we said it in the first half, you got to think they went for it on 4th down. They try to pass on a 4th and short. You're now in a 3rd and short situation. You're having great luck running the ball, keeping it on the ground. Just run it right up the middle, you would think. You would like to see it. But again, an empty set, maybe some guys coming in motion.
Bushka fakes to Orlando. Maybe should have given it to him. He needs a block, and he'll be brought down well short of the first down, and it'll bring up 4th down for Butler. On the stop
for a loss on the play.
for Drake was number 9, Alex Rogers.
They've had some good luck running up the middle. I mean, you saw A.J. Deinhardt did have that initial contact at line of scrimmage, but was able to keep going. 1 yard seems very manageable for him. Maybe they will start to go more with him, but again, now 0 for 7 on 3rd down conversions.
Brings Lucas Zurich back on to kick. Had a couple good punts today so far. Booms this one. Jalen Proctor waving for the fair catch. And a beautiful spot by Luca to get it inside the 10. I think the ref will spot it exactly at the 10-yard line.
And again, exactly what you want out of him. 41 yards, hovering right around his average. You could tell by the way he was going, it was a directional punt to the right. Really can't get more right than that and keep it in play. Special teams is looking very good to start the day and for the whole first half and now to start the second half.
And that's huge. Coach Boris, the special teams coordinator as well as head coach.
Especially in a tight game like this, special teams wins you games. It's that third phase that really sets you up.
Ellingson gives to Cross Robinson. Will be brought down after a 6-yard gain. Robinson's been impressive today, averaging 4 yards a carry.
And just to go back to that really quickly, what Butler has been able to do is they've given Drake long fields most of the time, but then when they get it on the flip side, it's usually a little bit shorter. They're 1 for 1 on field goals, have a little bit more faith in their kicker at this point, and they're up 3-0. Winning the third phase can win or lose you a game.
We haven't seen any turnovers today either. Drake leading the PFL in forced turnovers this year. Cross Robinson breaks 1 tackle. He brought down by Bradley McGee past the first down line.
And that really shows you the growth of the team. You have a young quarterback. You do have a veteran offensive line, but then you have juniors and sophomores out wide as your wide receivers, and you can just see their growth through the season already. Smarter decisions, no turnovers. I mean, Brett Bushka coming into this game in 4 games, 6 interceptions, none so far. He is growing. He is going to be a very good quarterback for this team. Already is, but will continue to get even better.
Oh, you saw that special at halftime talking about the offense for Butler and how Brett has added so much of an element. Pass complete, and breaking another tackle there, number 33, Ryan Hayes.
Ellington's pass complete to 33, Ryan Hayes.
That's his 8th reception on the year.
19, Bradley McGee.
Has 63 yards before today.
They have 10 on the play. That's first down and 10 for Drake
And
at
the senior
33-yard line.
Will get a first down for the Bulldogs of Drake.
Another thing for this for the Butler Bulldog defense is 2 sacks for 18 yards, matching their season total of 2.
Handoff up the middle to Meese.
The defense so far has come to play, but the Drake offense seems to have a spark of life coming out of halftime. Both teams definitely had to make some adjustments.
29, Tommy Carlson.
And Drake so far is showing like we aren't going away, especially in a tight game. They are moving the ball very effectively to start the second half.
Not one pass play called either besides that one part of this play that just happened, but I mean they just seem to be wanting to run the ball.
Yeah.
Clearly their objective to try to gain a little bit of momentum on the ground game, maybe fake over the top. Handoff, Cross Robinson. He's brought down in the backfield. Initial stop by Austin Corba, and the pack of Bulldogs finishes it up.
And now Butler really needs to get off the field here, give your offense another chance. But to your point about Drake keeping it on the ground, why not? Cross Robinson averaging 3.4 in the first half. Dorian Boyland averaging 7.7. Reynolds 17. And Meese 5 yards a carry. You keep it on the ground.
38-yard line.
Well, last week Drake only had 67 rushing yards. Got 84 today already. They did, however, have 8 penalties for 79 yards. Not ideal. We saw a bunch of those in the first half. Being flushed out, dips it to his receiver Langdock, and Langdock's got the first down a little bit more. Knocked out of bounds by Tommy Carlson.
And a great decision by the quarterback, Ellingston, getting a guy open with his feet, making that corner start to come in and then he leaves the guy wide open.
And that's kind of you have to take the bait one way or the other. Let the quarterback run or go attack him. I think pressure was right there. I think that's probably the right call from the defensive standpoint.
It was a first down either way.
Right. Connor Reed showing blitz. He does get there to Meese. He makes the tackle after a 4-yard gain for Caden Meese. Connor Reed, the solid safety, from Clarendon Hills, Illinois, Bennett Academy. Transferred here from Holy Cross in the spring. Father played at University of Pennsylvania.
Just an FCS football family.
That's right. He's a solid player. 16 tackles, second on the team coming into this game. A little bit of miscommunication. Caden Meese gets the handoff. Ball's out. Butler claiming they have it.
That's one of those you have to claim you have it either way, even if you don't. Especially with a pile like this, whoever comes out with the ball is going to get it. So there is a lot of fighting going down. All clean, I'm sure, to get this ball.
Well, it was recovered by Drake, by number 52, Bennett Krebs.
Fumble recovered by 52, Bennett Krebs.
And Drake will have it. 3rd down and 1 for the Bulldogs.
And barring something unexpected like a sack for a huge loss, this does look like they have two attempts to get this first down.
Huge play here. Ellingson hands off to cross. Robinson briefly almost brought down by Malachi Pike, but it'll be a first down, Drake.
Able to convert that 3rd down, gets them to around 50% 3rd down conversion, up 14% from their average this season. That's a huge way to help you win football games, being able to stay on the field.
It is, and I'm sure Coach Steps is looking for his team to convert on these, convert all these conversions into scoring opportunities. Ellingson fakes the handoff, gets some pressure, lofts it up in the air. Colin Howard is there. He's got the catch. Thomas Rousseau battling for possession of that ball. There is a flag, possible pass interference here.
That will definitely be a pass interference on number 10, Thomas Rousseau. The referee did not hesitate to throw that as soon as the catch was made.
It's after the 3rd down conversion. They lofted up to Colin Howard, their leading receiver, and that's a huge play. His 12th catch on the season.
And you got your first red zone stop of the year in the first half. If you're the Butler defense, can you do it again? You really need to right now, especially in a tight game. At least hold them to 3 points. Make it a tough decision for them to go for it on 4th. And if they choose to.
And with the added penalty, it doesn't help the morale of the defense by any means. Ellingson, handoff to Cross Robinson, and he will fall into the end zone for Drake. Touchdown, Bulldogs.
Drake Bulldogs.
The Drake Bulldogs, that's right. That's my canine conundrum. So Drake on a 4-yard rush by Cross Robinson. Takes the lead 6-3, swinging gate formation. You never know what they might have up their sleeve. Looks like they're going to line up and kick this one.
Shane Dunning into attempt the point after.
Our first chance to look at the new kicker for Drake.
Yep, Shane Dunning boots this one through.
And it is no good.
It was no good. My perception from where I was standing looked like it was. So score remains 6-3.
And that is a huge missed extra point right now in this game. If you go to 7, when Butler only has 3, they have to score a touchdown to get the lead back. They still do to get the lead, but now they can tie the game with a field goal. You just made it a lot easier for the Butler offense to stay in this game because now while they want to score and you're still thinking we need to score a touchdown, it's if we get around the red zone and we take our 3 points, it's tied up again. We still have plenty of life left in this game, and your decision to not bring your more experienced kicker into Brian, because now after a missed extra point, are you going to trust him to make a game-winning field goal if it stays tight?
11 plays, 90 yards. 6 minutes, 28 seconds.
Well, Jack Iruli will come on to place kick.
4-yard touchdown run by Cross
And he's done it all throughout the day, but you have to wonder, is this something that maybe you look at if you're Drake?
Will he now take over because he holds the kickoff duties? Will he take it over? I also have missed my first ever extra point in college football, so I understand how that feels. Not a good feeling.
Wow, so humble of you to admit.
Yeah, not a good feeling. And then the second one got blocked. So, but we bounced back.
But from there, it worked out. It worked out.
We bounced back, but
we'll see if Butler can bounce back after an 11-play, 90-yard drive, shaving off 6.5 minutes for Drake. Cross Robinson takes that one in. He's the leading rusher for the Drake Bulldogs. Iruli boots this one for a touchback.
Results in a touchback. Butler will take over first down and 10.
Thanks for joining us here on the Butler Athletics YouTube page. My name is Joey Lindstrom alongside Drew Bebelheimer. I want to take a minute to thank Sports Media Class 320 and Professor Nick White for the production of today's broadcast on the Butler Athletics YouTube page. They've done a wonderful job today, and it's thanks to them that we're able to bring the Bulldog action to you. Butler will start out at the 25. Bushka drops back. Launches one over the middle to Yogi Flogger.
And also what you saw there is the way he caught that ball. If you notice, he didn't really turn his hands over like you normally see a receiver catch a pass in space. He went more for the cradle to be very sure-handed in these conditions. It turns out to be a great decision. Huge first play for the Dogs.
42-yard gain.
42 yards. And you're right, a huge momentum shift now. You give up the score, you come back right away with a huge gain to your leading receiver. And Flogger looked like he was shaken up a bit. Here's a handoff to Benefield. Benefield brought down. Keeps the legs moving. And he gains about 4.
A.J. Deinhardt coming off the field looking a little banged up, but a great lead block there for Benefield. Gave him the hole. He just read it right off his back. And again, those feet for Michael Benefield, they just don't stop.
They don't stop.
They just don't. Like, he has a guy draped around his waist, and you just see those feet firing, getting a couple extra feet every single inch, doing everything he can.
And that's the effort that somebody like him brings and what you want out of your running back. Bushka trying to get his guys hurried up and set. Snaps it. Bushka looking for some space. Finds the first down and more. Brett Bushka with a hard hit by Alex Rogers, but regardless, big first down gain for the kid.
And a big hit, but a great run, and you are fine taking that hit after getting a first down. And it looked like, the Drake sideline might have said a couple things, and Brett Bushka hopped up and said something right back. I'm sure it was all PG, but that's what he brings. He brings that swagger of, I got laid out, but I got that first down, and we're gonna go score here.
He's a tough kid. Split back formation, Benefield and Jack Boyd. Bushka will take it himself again. He's got some space. Brett Bushka down at the 4-yard line for Butler.
And that's kind of what laying him out and talking to him is going to do. You're going to fire him up. He's shown that he can beat you with his legs all day. And that's just what he's doing. He's saying, you can hit me as hard as you want. Congratulations. I'm going to keep taking my 10, 15, 20 yards and lead this team to score. A Drake Bulldog down on the field. Hope he's okay. Looks like he got up under his own power walking off the field.
Well, that was Alex Rogers who brought the heat on the play previous to that one. Bushka takes it himself, gets all the way down to the 4. Well, Bushka leads the PFL coming into this game in completion percentage at 66%. But so far it has been his legs that have done the work. He'll take a quick breather here. And Nick Orlando will step behind center. First and goal from the 5 for Butler.
And again, we say this every time we're here, but usually he runs. Will we see a pass?
Fakes to Deinhardt. Counterplay, Orlando. Nowhere really to go, but a team trying to carry him.
Oh, very late flag, but finally called. The second face mask. It was happening for about 5 to 10 seconds before. You could see his helmet moving.
5 to 10 seconds is a long time.
It is a long time. I don't think the play was that long. I got a little carried away. But he started right outside his helmet and moved it, and then his hand slipped in and caught him in the face mask. It was very obvious.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense, number 14. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So that'll be a face mask on Nick Cagnito.
A.J. Deinhardt right there talking to Coach Connor, not on the screen, but he is looking like he wants the ball. It looks like it was looking like he was saying, give me the rock, we're going to score. On the 2-yard line, you got to think with how well he's been running the ball, you're just going to give it to him and let him work.
First and goal at the 2 with the personal foul. Nick Orlando, empty backfield, 2 tight ends set. He'll take it himself. Orlando lowers the shoulder. Does he get across the line?
They are running back right now, but he was ruled down on the play.
Drake claims they have it.
The whistle blew for him to be down. The way that one ref was
It looks like the official saying he fumbled the ball out of the end zone. Drake recovered it in the end zone, which would then be a touchback.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by Drake in the end zone. Results in a touchback.
And that's what it is.
And unfortunately, even with the great production crew we have, we do not have review in the Pioneer Football League. So we didn't really have a great view of it. It was on the opposite side.
Declan Carr on the fumble, and that is the first forced turnover for the Drake Bulldogs, coming at a very unopportune time for Butler. And now Drake takes over at the 20-yard line, so Orlando's fumble. Again, just to review, he fumbled outside of the end zone. Ball gets recovered in the end zone. That is down for a touchback, so Drake gets it at the 20. Horrible sequence for the Butler Bulldogs. Handoff up the middle. Dorian Boylan on the carry there.
36, Dorian Boylan on the carry for Drake.
He's the second leading rusher for Drake. That's his 4th attempt.
Tackled by 92.
25 yards on the day.
3-yard gain for Boylan.
And Butler, after that, falls to 0-2 in the red zone. We're going to have to start seeing those convert into points if they want to stay in this game.
That's a huge blow after a couple great plays. You open the drive with the long play to Flogger, followed up with 2 big runs by Brett Bushka. Handoff up the middle. Almost brought down in the backfield was Boylan.
Boylan on the carry for Drake.
But he will get it all the way down to the 30, and that'll be a first down for Drake. Drew, do you think that maybe when you have Nick Orlando in the empty set like that, and Drake has to be expecting the run?
I think they have to be expecting the run as the Bulldog front 4 do a great job.
Ellingson hands off to Dorian Boylan.
There, Boylan getting a 1-yard carry. Looks like somebody's shaking up. No, he does get up. That's number 33, Brian Hayes.
But Nick Orlando usually does very well in those situations, scores the ball. But you also have a lot of other guys that are running the ball very well today. A.J. Deinhardt, Michael Benefield, Brett Bushka. Can you disguise it a little more? Again, it's a good play call, almost worked, but can you start to spread the wealth a little bit when you're down in that 1 or 2 yard range?
Empty backfield. Ellingson. Almost gets it to
Blake Ellington's pass.
his receiver, number 87, Tim Neslick.
And great coverage there by number 29, Tommy Carlson.
Tommy Carlson, the leading tackler last week. 10 of them against St. Thomas. Breaks up that play.
Third down and 10 at the 30-yard line.
Third down and 10. Huge third down for Butler. Drake so far 6 of 11 on third down. Over the middle. Nas Reynolds was open, but he loses a little bit of track on that ball.
Intended for 34, Nas Reynolds.
And out is the punt unit for Drake. Good stop by Butler.
And obviously you want the points there. You want the score to right now be 10-6, but you can't ask for more out of your defense right there. Responding immediately, getting you the ball back, and giving you a chance as we have 15 seconds left in the third to go down and score again.
Joey Adia back deep to return. And one return today for 4 yards. He's going to take this one. Almost brought down. Way to stay on your feet, young fella. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 30. They'll give it to him at the 30-yard line.
For Joey Adia. Tackle on the play.
So the last drive for Butler that stalled out. With the fumble at the goal line.
And 10 at the 30-yard line.
Now they get a first down and 10 at the 30. With 4 seconds left to go in the third quarter, Butler will run one play to round it out. Bushka, quick pass out to Yogi Flogger again. That's going to be a first down, a little bit more
Bushka's pass
to end the third quarter, but hold on, we have a flag to tend to.
It looks like from reactions it might be number 76, Grant Purley, coming in late, but that's also part of the problem too, is he was being held up for a while. A lot of Drake Bulldogs got to come in and take some extra licks, and then he went in himself a little bit after the whistle. That's a tough spot to be in.
It is. And not to mention, too, that emotions run high when it's conference play.
Absolutely. I think you would like to see that whistle maybe a little quicker. He wasn't going anywhere. Was getting held up by 4 or 5 guys. Didn't blow it till it was 6, 7, 8. A Butler guy got in there to stop him getting from just whacked over and over again.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 76.
And you're right, it was. The guilty party was Grant Purley.
Second down. That is the end.
From Fort Wayne, Indiana. That will end the third quarter here. Drake leads 6-3. You're watching Butler football on the Butler Athletics YouTube page.
Drake leads 6-3.
Correction, it'll be first down.
Welcome back to the Button Jackie Sellick Bowl for this PFL action. Drake and Butler. Drake leads 6-3, and Butler's pushed back after getting a first down. Committed a personal foul penalty and will be starting their drive at the 27.
We're set to start the fourth quarter.
And the first penalty of the day for the Bulldogs, for the Butler Bulldogs, after that personal foul.
Handoff to Michael Benefield up the middle, and he will be brought down after a gain of 3. A couple of PFL score updates for you. Marist leads 13-7 over Valparaiso. Stetson leads Davidson 21-7 in the second quarter. Bit of a surprise there, as Davidson took down San Diego last week. Flogger, zip motion. Flag on the play, going to be a false start.
False start, offense, number 64.
That'll be on left tackle Gavin Johnson.
Second penalty of the game and second penalty of this drive. Going to want to start cleaning it up just a little bit. They've been very good so far. Only the one turnover. A couple turnover on downs, but overall a very well executed game. Now can they make up this yardage?
Flogger in motion. Bushka drops back. Finds Benefield on the run as his check down, and he gets licked by number 7, Tanner Pollock.
And Drake is hitting very hard in this second half, letting them know probably for the next week that, yeah, you got hit pretty hard.
Probably exactly what both these teams are saying to each other. See Broder Reader down there giving signals. That's not an easy job.
It is not. I tried one year. It didn't work.
You always did it in practice.
I did.
Did a pretty decent
I
job.
think we ran the play. I got yelled at.
3rd and 4 for Butler. Johnson in motion. Bushka drops back. Launches over the middle to Nate Walker, and that's dropped.
And again, you kind of saw it. He was going more for a cradle catch with the ball, still being a little wet instead of flipping those hands over. Could it have made it easier to catch? I don't know, but it kind of hit those hands and just fell right out because he had nothing supporting it. Like he had no way to control it.
And that hurts if you're Butler, too. You turn the ball over, and it turns into a 3 and out for Drake, almost. And you get the ball back and make nothing of it, unfortunately. Zurich on the punt. Nice high punt, spiraling, and Proctor drops it. Ball's out.
I think Michael Benefield might have it. Oh, if we're gonna.
Drake recovers it. Sigh of relief from that sideline. Jaron Proctor, his first muff punt of the year. He's done well in the return game.
At the 25-yard line.
So Drake will get this ball at the 25. With 13 minutes to go here in our game. This has been a defensive battle. But a couple turnover on downs and turnovers in the red zone and scoring zone have not helped either of these squads. Big thump on the left side.
With the carry for Drake, flag on
the carry was Austin Flax.
There is a flag on the field. I didn't really see it. I don't know. It looked like there was 1 or 2 Drake players and 3 or 4 Butler players over there. The Drake offense is backing up.
We'll be holding on Drake. And that helps Butler, as it'll remain first down, but a 10-yard penalty drives them all the way back to the 15.
And so far this game, they've been able to overcome each one of those penalties. Almost every every time they get a penalty resulting later in a first down. Can Butler now take advantage of this mistake, keep them deep in their own territory, and hopefully get the ball back really quickly, force a 3 and out here?
Well, Butler has an interception in 3 out of their 4 games, 3 straight games, in fact. They've forced 4 fumbles. Up the middle, here's Robinson. Brought down immediately. Little to no gain. They'll give him about 1.5. Ball be down at the 17.
By 43, Mike Weimer. Gain of 2 on the play brings up second down and 18 for Drake.
Second down and 18 from the 17 for Drake. Butler needs some pressure here. Ellingson will take it. Belskis had the pressure there. He completes it out to the right side to Matt Hartlieb. But he'll be brought down for a short gain.
And a great play there by Tommy Carlson, and both of these offenses so far staying neck and neck after the third quarter. Drake with total offense of 225 yards off of 49 plays. Butler 236 off of 42. Both of these offenses are playing, as we can see by the score, about the same game. And now we just got to see which way is the balance going to go. Who's going to outweigh the other at the end of this quarter?
Well, Drake leads the PFL in penalties. They've got 7 today. Certainly hasn't helped him. Ellingson. Long ball, right side. Colin Howard with the catch. And a flag on the play to follow.
Pass complete to 80, Colin Howard. Devin Aguilar with the coverage. Flag on the field.
Pass interference. Defense number 8. Penalty decline.
Penalty decline. That is PI on Devin Aguilar. Huge play given up by the Bulldogs of Butler.
Completion from Ellingson to Howard.
This is kind of what we were talking about earlier. They have 7 penalties for 50 yards, but they've been able, it hasn't affected them. They've been able to keep moving the ball. The defense has to start making them pay for those mistakes.
Ellingson gives to Cross Robinson, and he's stopped immediately at the line of scrimmage. Initially by Austin Corba. Another flag flies in late.
Looked like some extracurriculars between Trey Mason and, I believe, I couldn't get the exact number on the Drake
Hartlieb,
Bulldog,
maybe?
but
it looked like 19.
Yes, it was.
I didn't quite see it.
And I don't know who they're going to call it on.
Oh, Austin Corba, nice play to make that stop. Redshirt freshman. Switch from O-line to D-line.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 19.
And it will be on Matt Hartlieb. Unnecessary roughness drags Drake back all the way to the 45-yard line.
And that's great. Pushing them back an extra 15 yards, making it 2nd and 25. But can you make them pay for that mistake? So far, they have not been able to. You just have to make them pay for this.
And if you're Drake, how can you make up for the mistakes that you made from your penalties? So after the 37-yard gain, a 15-yard penalty, 2nd and 25, handoff to Boylan. He'll be brought down. Initial contact by Tommy Carlson. Nice job on the tackle.
Tackle by 29, Tommy Carlson.
And now you have to think that they're going to run a very similar play. Going to look for that deep pass wherever there's one-on-one coverage. They're not afraid to attack probably Butler's best corner in Devin Aguilar. Everybody has to be on high alert for a pass coming their way.
Well, Colin Howard has 4 receptions for 92 yards thus far.
Third down.
He's lined up one-on-one with Trey Mason to the top of your screen. Ellingson zips it out to Langdock. Langdock's got some space, but he'll be at the original first down line, maybe a little bit after. Brought down at the 38-yard line.
And you have to wonder if they're going to go for it here. Looks like Looks like
Willie Cashmore and Todd Stepsis are going to send out their punt unit.
Again, it looks like Butler is going to run a safe punt here, keeping the defense on the field, not wanting to get tricked, and a very smart call. You're not really worried about your return here. There's a high likelihood of it being a touchback, as it was last time.
Aguilar back for Butler.
Dunning. This punt, short. Bounce is going to go in the direction that Drake needed. And I believe the person who downed it was number 1, Ethan Zager, but his feet were in the end zone, right?
You can probably hear the crowd yelling, being a specialist myself. The rules between the NFL and college are different. In college, the guy can be in the end zone, the ball just cannot cross the plane. So he can have 2 feet, his whole body, but as long as if the ball does not cross the plane, it's wherever the ball is. It's not the guy. In the NFL, if the guy is in the end zone and touches the ball, even if it's outside of the end zone, it will be a touchback. That is the correct call. It's a good call. And a great special teams coordinator over at Drake letting his guys know you can get in the end zone, get as far as you can into the end zone, and just stop the ball as close as you can to the goal line. Really well executed, really good punt. And that's where running a safe punt can hurt you, because usually you don't even let that guy return it.
And even if he was unsure, he still had his toes on the line. Bushka backed up. He's going to launch this one to Flogger.
And that looks like a pass interference again. He stopped his ability to get to a ball, didn't make a play on it, but not called.
Danny Morales on the coverage. Whether or not it was, no call was made. So Butler will be stuck again inside their own 1-yard line. Two tight ends in the formation. Handoff to Benefield, trying to get some real estate. Doesn't look like he'll get anywhere.
And the problem you're running into now, it being 3rd down on the 2, you obviously want to get a first down and keep it moving, but at the same time, the punt snap is usually 13 yards. You're at the 2. He would be 1 yard outside the back of the end zone, so you're going to have to run a short punt. It's going to be much quicker. You won't be able to get the same yardage he's been getting, more than likely. So do you want to play the field position battle, run the ball again, try to get it, to the 5-6 yard line, give him more room to breathe on the punt, or do you risk it all for the first down and just hope your punting unit can get it done?
I think of this situation, no time to be conservative. Bushka. So it's just check down A.J. Deinhardt, who gets tackled at the 1.
He would
at the line of scrimmage where the drive started, and there's your answer. Drake, a 3-and-out stop after a great special teams play. And that's interesting about the rule. You don't see it very often because it's a pretty significant play when it does happen. But college, yes, your feet can be in the end zone, or at least touching the line in this case. So Luka Zurich, his heels backed up to the line. Need a great snap from Jacob Kane here. This punt, high and deep. Returning it now, that was number 23, Jackson Williams. He gets brought down after a hard hit. Great job by Michael Benefield to lay the wood.
Showing he can do it on offense and special teams, but again, you're giving them a short field. That's a one-step punt. Don't have a lot of room to get it off. It was a good punt, still traveling before he started returning around a 40-ish yard punt, but even a 40-ish yard punt on your own 2-yard line is still giving them the ball back in your half of the field.
Yep. That's hard scenario. Great effort by Luka to get that one out there. But regardless, I mean, it's a
lose-lose
situation. Yeah, thank you. So Butler needs a great stop here to get this one back. It's 6-3 Drake, 7:25 to play here in the fourth quarter. Pitch. This looks like a pass out to the right side. That one is going to be incomplete. Hartlieb was the intended receiver, and Michael Marquette tried to throw that one.
And the corners out there, Thomas Russo and Devin Aguilar, and safety Tommy Carlson stayed with their guys. There was nowhere to go. Very well defended by the Butler defense, the Butler secondary overall.
Let's see what coordinator Coach Warrett has in store. Bulldog defense needs to stop.
Quarterback
Ellingson on the quarterback keep. No gain. Devin Aguilar chasing him.
And a smart play there by Devin Aguilar, not wanting to try to take a hit on the quarterback, just letting him get out of bounds. 3rd and long, you got to think, especially after the last result of their punt, they're very happy to punt again. So they'll probably risk it right here and go all the way for the first down, because this is not where you want to turn the ball over.
Jacob Kane entering the field for Jack Belskis. Huge 3rd down and 10. Ellingson, bobbled snap. Got some pressure from Austin Corba. He leaks out the left side. Castleberry's there. Did he push him out of bounds? Yes, he did. Just a 3-yard gain for Ellingson and Drake. This will be 4th down.
Now it's a little bit of a different situation, so they were willing to go for the pass, try to get it. Oh, happy with the punt. Looks like they're huddled over there. Will they choose to punt or go for it? Now on the 33-yard line, 32-yard line, if this punt goes in the end zone, you net 7 yards. Looks like they're going for a field goal.
With Dunning as well. So I really will stay on the sideline. This kick
is short.
Up, and it hits off the crossbar and down.
Yeah, you could see it kind of coming off his foot. It was low, probably a little bit out of his range, and you could see by the trajectory it was going to be short. Did hit the underside of the crossbar, but again, it's a tough decision, because if you go for it there on 4th down with a new kicker, has missed an extra point, they would still have gotten the ball around the 32 as long as you didn't take a sack. Now they get the ball still where it's downed at the 32. I thought they'd put it back where it was held for the snap, because that's where that play starts. I don't know if that's the right spot technically, but actually it is from the line of scrimmage.
It is from the line of scrimmage, that's right. Yeah, I couldn't get a definitive answer. In the backfield is Joey Succi alongside Orlando. Orlando will keep it himself. And he'll be brought down at the line of scrimmage once again. I think Deinhardt had some space to work with. Orlando keeps it. Bushka will come on now.
No gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 for Butler.
See what Coach Connor has drawn up here. 5:18 to go here at the Sellick Bowl. Bushka drops back. Flushed out. Gets it to Deinhardt, who's brought down immediately. Maybe should have dropped it. 35. That is Will Kulik on the stop.
And something interesting to note, too, starting that playoff with the run, their last 2 drives on 1st down, 2 passes up the middle to Yogi Flogger for huge gains. Deciding to go with the run here now in a 3rd and long. It's definitely going to have to be a pass. You're probably definitely looking again at Yogi Flogger, number 84, who will be on the near side of your screen, along with Nick Orlando.
Expecting a pass here on 3rd and long. Jimmy Johnson in motion. Bushka fits it near Orlando's hands. It was tipped up in the air. Bushka was trying to fit that ball in the tiny, tiny window. And this will be 4th down for the Dogs.
And he almost had it. There's plenty of time still with 4 minutes and 16 seconds left. You can punt this ball away. Your defense has been relatively successful. But the one worry kind of right now is they have not taken advantage of those mistakes by Drake. A missed field goal, they don't get anything out of it. On offense, Drake has gotten a lot of penalties, not making those count. They continue to get first downs after it.
Right. Continue to bounce back. Lucas Zurich, this one not hitting the same as it did before. Jack Boyd will down it and around the 47. And Drake will have it with 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. This is where literally 4-minute offense comes into play. We'll see what Coach Todd Stepsis and Kirk Ware have in store.
Yeah, not the exact point you wanted, especially out of your guy averaging around 40 yards, only 23 that time. And again, we were talking about how special teams can win and lose you games like this that are tight. Giving them a short field with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter could be fatal.
Ellingson under center. He's got 169 yards through the air today. Hands off to Robinson. Robinson's brought down immediately by Tommy Carlson. Great job filling the gap by TC, number 29.
And that is hopefully what Butler will continue to do. Just stop every run really close to the line of scrimmage, make them punt. But what Drake is doing a very good job of is, at least on that play, they're having the clock run. When the play clock gets reset, it'll be at 40 seconds. At 4 minutes, they can run 3 plays. They'll drain about 2 minutes off the clock just running it up the middle and punting and leaving the Butler offense with only 2 minutes left to play, already down to 3:30 here on second down.
Butler has all their timeouts. Don't need to use them yet. Handoff, Robinson. Got some space, but he's brought down by Jordan Castleberry and Connor Reed on the cleanup.
And that's kind of what you don't want to have happen. You don't want to let them get a first down while trying to kill the clock. You really want to get them off the field here, because as soon as they get this first down, if they do, they will then just continue to run the clock. You'll have to burn your timeouts to be able to get the ball back, and then it'll leave your offense with very little time and no timeouts to work with.
Well, here we go. Third down and 3 from the 46-yard line of Butler. Ellingson, fake handoff. He's going to take it himself. He's got the first down. And that hurts if you're Butler. Brought down at the 40-yard line. Off the read option. That was a great play by Drake to get that first down.
Great play. Clock down to 2:32 with 27 seconds on the play clock. You can almost guarantee they're going to run that thing down to 5, 4, 3 seconds, somewhere around there. Don't want to get a delay game, but want to waste as much time as they can. And you're going to have to start burning timeouts here. They will run this play with barely 2 minutes left. So on these 3 plays, you have to stop them every single time. No first down.
You got to think Butler's going to probably try to use their timeouts here. No 2-minute warning. Ball's almost fumbled on the snap. Boylan gets the pitch. Nobody dove when they saw Ellingson there.
Yeah, it was interesting with that pitch. Looked like he slipped and his knee hit for a loss before it actually got out of his hand. But still, the Bulldogs with a tackle for loss on that play. Now 2nd and 12. Again, they burn that timeout. 2 minutes and 2 seconds left. So it looks like the offense is going to have to run probably a 1.5-minute drill.
Well, Malachi Pike is down. Quick hit stats for you. Team-wise, Drake has eclipsed the 300-yard mark. 169 through the air, 132 on the ground. Butler has 244, 109 through the air, and 135 on the ground. Drake leads the way with 8 penalties for 65 yards. Butler with only 2 for 20 yards. Each team tied with 15 first downs. Drake has 62 plays to Butler's 51. Both these teams dead even, 4.8 yards per play. Malachi Pike seems like he's okay, not to cut you off.
Now with an injury timeout too, Butler didn't have to burn a timeout there. But I think they had to take one because after that the clock would start to run again once play resumed.
That's
so
right,
they have to. So the injury timeout they want to charge it. Clock got reset to 2:04, which when a game is coming down to the wire like this, those extra 2 seconds could be a huge difference maker.
Second down and 12 for Drake at the 42-yard line.
Ellingson in the backfield, hands off to Robinson. Robinson keeps the legs moving, and he'll be brought down past the original first down line at the 39-yard line.
And this play right here, it'll be interesting to see if they go for it on fourth down in this territory or if they're going to try to give Butler a long field. That's provided there's a stop on third down. But you're kind of getting into the range where this is for the game.
Right.
We are under 2 minutes. If they get a first down with a 40-second play clock, they can run this game down, no problem. So this one play will determine if Butler has a chance to make a comeback.
Well, with 1:59 to play, there's a whole lot of ball left.
They just need to make the stop.
They just need to make the stop here. This is the biggest play of the game thus far. Our score is 6-3. Thanks for being with us here on the Butler Athletics YouTube page. Joey Lindstrom alongside Drew Bevelheimer. Again, thank you so much to Professor Nick White's class, Sports Media 320, for the production of today's broadcast. Everyone's done a bang-up job. And good attendance despite the weather today. You see everybody tailgating. It's been fun to watch the canine conundrum, as you coined it today, Drew.
My dad pointed that out.
You coined it.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it is great to see the Bulldog faithful here able to weather the elements, and not a lot of scoring, but overall a really good game to come watch.
Hopefully that could be impactful here for Butler. For Drake, they need a little bit more quiet. Ellingson drops back over the middle. He's got his receiver for a first down.
And
Ryan Hayes, and barring a fumble or sudden turnover, that was a huge play for Drake. Very gutsy to call a pass play on third down and long like that in this scenario.
And Butler not calling a timeout with one left. That'll probably pretty much do it for the game based on the time. I think it could be the game. Now, hopefully there is some type of crazy mistake, but
Ellingson switching across Robinson over to the right side, and that's a timeout for Coach Todd Stepsis. Excuse me.
That is an interesting timeout, but just to kind of recap the game and look back, it is not over, but I believe
after that play, it's going to be hard for Butler to get out of this hole, I would say.
And they're going to look back on this game and very winnable. 0 for 2 in the red zone, 1 turnover on downs, 1 fumble on your own 1-yard line that turned into a touchback for Drake. And then you keep going down the list. 0 for 10 on third downs today.
Yeah.
After coming in at above 50%, able to hang in there, but just not able to always get it going on offense. We're able to drive on first and second, but that third down just seemed to be a huge tough spot today. The time of possession, Drake with almost 32 minutes, Butler with 25, so really close there. Yards, again, very, very close. Actually, not so much after the fourth quarter. After the third, they were very close, but Drake now totaling almost at 500 yards and Butler at 353.
No, that's not right. 316 for Drake and 244 for Butler.
Oh, yeah, I was adding the passing total. Got confused.
Good mental math, though.
Thank you. Yeah, 316 and 244, but still a relatively large difference.
Inflated statistics.
Yeah. But it's just one of those you're going to look back and you just wish you had those 2 red zones back, because if you kicked field goals in both of those, you're winning this game right now.
Yep, certainly. Well, Drake will kneel here, and this will be, sure we'll see a timeout or 2 more. How about Ellingson? First start, gets 1 play against North Dakota. He comes in. Turnover-free game, 57% through the air. That's 13 of 23, 181 yards. He relied on the efforts of Cross Robinson mostly, number 25 for Drake. 63 yards on the ground off 19 rushes. Dorian Boylan was a factor as well, 38 yards on 7 attempts. But you said, I mean, the special teams plays and the turnovers on down when you get into the nitty gritty and you're in first and goal, go to go, it's just, you have to punch it in. And Drake did well to stymie Butler again and again.
Right, and I think, too, the biggest advantage you had here today was you knew coming in your offense is averaging right about the same. Your defenses are very similar, but your special teams, your kicker, you had a better kicker going into this game with a guy you can know and trust. On the other side, a guy who you didn't really know. He could have been very good. 0 for 2 today. I'm sure he'll bounce back, but that was kind of the place you knew you could get points more than they can, and elected to go for 6 instead of 3, which I understand, but at the same time, looking back, that could be the difference in the game. They could be at 9 right now. At least at 6, the other turnover was not a 4th down. It was a 1st and goal.
Ellingson
takes another knee.
Butler with no timeouts left.
I think he'll have to take one more. Yep, Butler with no timeouts. So Drake will host Dayton next week. And Butler will host San Diego.
1 minute remaining.
PFL updates for you. Marist still leading Valparaiso at halftime, 13-7. That's on ESPN3. Stetson ahead of Davidson, 21-14 at half. That's also on ESPN3. And Dayton down by 3 to Morehead State in the first quarter. Later on, St. Thomas will visit San Diego at 4 p.m. Timeout Drake, 30 seconds to go. It's a pleasantry at this point for time purposes. We get ready for a San Diego team, Drew. Let's look ahead. 0-4. They play St. Thomas today, who Butler got shut out by last week. And it's really going to be a test for a program in San Diego that, granted, they played 3 FCS opponents, and they lose last week to Davidson. So they're 0-1 in conference play. If they lose again today, both teams are 0-2 in PFL. We haven't heard of a San Diego team winless in the conference up to that point. I mean, probably since maybe Jim Harbaugh days or what have you when he first came there. So now Butler really has an opportunity. They can still be in this mix, even being down 0-2 in the conference to start the year.
I agree, and I think, too, there were a lot of really good things about this game. You only committed 2 penalties. You had good time of possession. You were able to move the ball. You did some really good things on defense, pulling them to 1 of 2 red zone conversion. But can you make the other team pay for their mistakes? Drake finishes with 8 penalties for 65 yards, and none of those really hurt them. And that could have been a big difference today. And Butler took relatively good care of the ball, only 1 turnover. Can you build on that? Can you score in the red zone? Can you make them pay for the mistakes they make? And can you make more turnovers happen? Because I believe the Butler didn't force any turnovers today.
Drake had just that 1 fumble off the punt return that they eventually recovered.
So you got to make mistakes. They got 2 sacks, which is more than they've had, which equals their total for the season. 5 TFLs, some really good things, but can you build off of it?
We shall see. Next week, Butler will host San Diego at 1 p.m. right here on the Butler Athletics YouTube page. For Drew Bevelhammer, for our production team of Nick White's SPM 320, thank you so much, guys. You've done awesome today. Everyone from the camera work to production and everything in between, thank you. And for everyone else that helped today, Joe Gentry alongside Mike Freeman and John Dedman. My name is Joey Lindstrom. Thank you so much for being with us. Butler hosts San Diego next week here at the Sellick Bowl, 1 p.m. Drake will go on to host Dayton next week, 12 p.m. in Des Moines. Thank you so much for being with us. This has been a presentation of Pioneer League Football on the Butler Athletics YouTube page.